Our coverage tonight on the ISC Sports Network brings us to Frankfort High School for a second consecutive night tonight, where the Hot Dogs will host their arch rivals, the Lebanon Tigers. Sean Walker, Mike Walensky here for you on the ISC Sports Network this evening. Mike, we have
running
a
a
good
small
one in
bit.
store.
We do, because we've got two rivals that will challenge one another, and both clubs, Sean, are very similar in terms of what they've been able to accomplish this year. Both have struggled, yet they are capable of being very, very good soccer clubs. Talking to Coach Isaac Field from Frankfort, though his team has been shut out for the last 6, his team is capable of scoring a lot of points. They're very athletic. He's looking forward to finding a way to put all things together, because when they do, they're going to be a tough out down the road when they get into sectional 25 play.
Our pregame show tonight brought to us by Healthy Communities. Finding and applying for health insurance is hard, especially now, and we get that. Our mission is to help not only children and families, but everyone. We can help you obtain the coverage you need at a price you can afford. Our help is free, unbiased, and local. For more information, visit healthyclintoncounty.org. Mike, you talked a little bit about the teams coming into this evening, and let's talk a little about the records right now. Lebanon comes in at 4-7. They're 3-2 in conference play. The Hot Dogs at 3-7-1. They are 1-2 in conference play. Both of these teams looking to get a victory tonight. It's something that Frankfort hasn't done against Lebanon in recent years, except for going back to 2017. That was their first win in about the past 7 years, and it came down to a shootout to decide that one.
Well, ironically, Coach Field talked about the fact that Lebanon had just come off a scoreless tie with Danville into that match in 2017, and guess what? The same thing has happened with Lebanon and Danville just a couple of days ago. Nothing before Lebanon succumbed in overtime to Danville. So this is going to be an interesting chance for Frankfort, and for tonight for Lebanon. Sophomore Riley Jump is a fantastic player. She could become the single-season leading scorer in conference play, and Sagamore Conference has some outstanding soccer players.
And she's just a sophomore,
which
is what the rest of the conference does not want to hear. Just a sophomore, already 14 goals on the season. On the other side for Frankfort, it's Liz Cruz Sandoval who leads the way, 13 goals on the season, and she's got a chance to break some records as well this year.
She does, and what's really good about her is she's surrounded by some really good people up front. That's the strength of the Frankfort Hot Dogs. Marie Hernandez, number 16, a forward, and we'll have a chance to take a look at Carolyn Morales, number 13, and Janet Martinez. In addition to that, Ari Regalado up front are really good, being able to set up this youngster who has done outstanding this year in scoring the number of goals that she has for the Frankfort Hot Dogs.
Let's take a look at our starting lineups, if we could, for tonight's matchup. For the Lebanon Tigers, it will be Jessica Stackhouse who will start in goal, and then Lexi Trepkos, Jessica Lemkuler, Summer Stogsdill, Addison Lawler, Maya Newsom, Irene Ransom, Riley Jump that we just talked about, the captain, and Madison Maher, Chloe Stogsdill, and Chloe Beltran will round out your starters for the Lebanon Tigers. For Frankfort tonight, a little bit of change. So our graphic's a little different than what it is as Kareem Quiones, will get the start tonight instead of Jenny Garcia Cruz, and Carolyn Morales will be in the starting lineup instead of Mia Hernandez.
When you speak about number 5, Hernandez, she is an individual that is one goal shy of sole possession of 5th place all-time in Frankfort girls soccer, currently sitting in a tie with 2018 graduate Alejandro Hernandez Cruz with 22 career goals. And what's interesting, talking about that number 22, this is the 22nd season for Frankfort girls soccer, and they have arrived. They're going to have a challenge when they get to sectional 25 with Tri-West being at 11-0-1, but anything can happen for them to move on and secure a sectional championship.
That'll do it for our Healthy Communities pregame show. We'll step aside. When we come back, we get some soccer action here. Girls soccer, IHSAA on the ISC Sports Network.
Running a small business. Your hands are full. We can help. FiberHawk partners with local companies by providing business class internet, phone, TV, and customized bundles to meet your needs. Our fiber-powered system delivers reliable speed with enhanced security. Running a business is tough. Contact FiberHawk today and let our expert team give you a hand.
love to see you here at the Farmers Bank. However, we know there are times you need to bank on your schedule, wherever you may be. With the Farmers Bank mobile banking app, you can check balances, transfer funds, pay bills, and now you can also securely deposit checks with your smartphone by simply taking a picture of the check. Download our mobile banking app today. The Farmers Bank, your local bank, your mobile bank, your bank for life.
Oh my God!
We are ripping fast today.
How hard can it be, right?
These are now selling for about $3,500. So we're back to our old ways of pulling rocks.
Act like idiots on camera, open cards, and talk about the hobby.
Power. We all want it. We all need it. It not only lights our homes, but it drives our businesses. It strengthens our communities. It empowers us to make our own decisions. Today, we're giving power to more than 22,000 members. We're a homegrown, locally based cooperative that does something the big electric companies won't: give safe, affordable, and reliable power to rural communities. We're Tipmont REMC, and our members have the power.
It can be awkward talking to your doctor or healthcare provider about things like body odor, depression, drugs, relationships, or sex, but they need to know. If you lie or decide not to tell them something, you may not get the care you need.
If you are embarrassed to talk to a parent about health concerns, remember as a teen, you have the right to talk to a healthcare provider alone and get access to some health services without friends, parents, or anyone else finding out.
Take responsibility for your health care. For more information, call Healthy Communities at 765-659-6063.
My name is Gary Gangwer, and I own the Gangwer Insurance Agency as well as Farm here in Clinton County. After an accident in Cleveland, Ohio, I had an opportunity to look at insurance. Didn't have anything to do until harvest, so I thought, why not? And it felt natural for me to call on farmers and specialize in farm insurance, because that's what I use as a farmer, is insurance.
This is really tough for me because I'm trying to remain professional on the show.
And then you got 50 feet of crap and the New York Knicks.
You're 60, so I'm not going to put my hands on you, but I'm going to slap this guy instead. Are we going to have our first real good argument on this show?
That's what everyone wants to hear.
That is the point. We welcome you back to Frankfort High School here for girls soccer on the ISC Sports Network. This production being brought to you in cooperation with the Hot Dog TV Network. Therefore, you will be watching a student-produced broadcast tonight. Mike and I will do our best not to screw it up for him. What do you say?
We'll try. We'll give it a great run here, but I think these teams will show us some excitement here tonight, so stay tuned.
We talked about the two teams in the pregame show. Lebanon coming in at 4-7, 3-2 in conference play. The Frankfort Hot Dogs 3-7-1, 1-2 in conference play. And for Frankfort, they got a stretch of conference games coming up here to close out their season. So kind of a tough stretch coming up for the Hot Dogs, but one that if they can string some wins together, they could find themselves at the top of the conference standings.
And again, for Frankfort heading into sectional 25, they have a chance. Danville 8-4. We mentioned Tri-West 11-0-1. Greencastle right now 7-4-2. Last year, Lebanon knocked out Frankfort in the sectional tournament. What was the reward that they received from the IHSAA? Well, the reward was their move to a sectional that it will be very, very difficult for them to get out of, because they will have to face at some point an outstanding Brebeuf team, possibly Chittard, Indianapolis Ritter. That is a very tough sectional, and possibly the champion of 2A may come out of there.
Yeah, to go along with the teams you named, you got Addicts and Indianapolis Washington there as well, that all are part of that sectional. You mentioned Tri-West, Mike, as gameplay gets started here at Frankfort. They're actually number 1 in 2A with that undefeated record.
Yeah, and again, that's going to be an awfully difficult challenge for Lebanon, Coach Hyatt, to be able to make a run at sectional. But that's why you play these kind of games. And when you have a rivalry game like this between Frankfort and Lebanon, it really ramps up the competition, as noted a couple years ago when Frankfort was able to knock off Lebanon in that shootout here in Frankfort, and that was an outstanding win for Coach Field's club at that time.
This one kicked out of bounds. Fans not necessarily paying attention there. Took one off the noggin, but hey, that would be a legal play if it was out on the field, right?
That's right.
You can use your head. Lebanon will throw in here. Always fun. It was a good time when I get to call a match here with Mike Walensky. Frankfort will take back control of the ball momentarily. Nope, they hang on to it here. It's number 10 for the Hot Dogs, Liz Cruz Sandoval. We talked about her with 13 goals on the season. She'll be one to keep an eye on tonight.
Nice effort by Kareem Quinones for Frankfort, the defender. She's just a sophomore, number 6, and she'll have to play very good, solid defense in the backside tonight for Frankfort.
Lizbeth Rodriguez for the Dogs will put the ball back into play. You know, talking with Coach, he mentioned in his notes before the game he was a little concerned about the slow starts for Frankfort, either at the beginning of the game or coming out of the break. And he really felt like, you know, he had a lot of other coaches telling him, man, you probably should have won this match tonight. But there were just lulls where they didn't stay focused and they didn't stay aggressive.
And that might be a combination of youngsters on this roster. They've got some sophomores out here that haven't seen much varsity competition as they try to clear this one out of there. Lebanon early on in this match putting a little bit of pressure on the backside of the Frankfort defense. And I will say this, as far as women's sports is concerned, for whatever reason, and I'd like to do a research project on this, women do not travel very well. So for whatever reason, when they play on the road, they're just not as good as when they're playing at home. So I think Frankfort has an advantage right now playing at home. The odds are in their favor to make this a really competitive match today.
There you go. Look forward to the female traveling thesis by Mike Walensky.
Boy, I'd love to do some research on this because you look at the schedule, especially for Frankfort and Lebanon. These two teams, they both have fared very well at home this year. When they've struggled, it's when they've been on the road. And here's a penalty upcoming.
So penalty kick early for Lebanon. This is not what you want if you are a hot dog fan. So one-on-one, it could feel like a lonely island here. And there's your first goal of the match. Put in by the Lebanon Tigers, and it is very tough, Mike, not only because the sun's facing us, but just to get a good look at the jersey numbers. When not facing you, I would guess that that's Riley Jump. That's who I would have take the shot in that situation.
And, Sean, it was actually Madison Maher, number 20,
okay,
the senior. She had 5 goals coming in this
with
match.
The captain.
And you're right. Jump usually would be the person with the highest goal differential, but they go with the captain, and the veteran puts it in on the near post.
So 1-0 early, very early here for the Lebanon Tigers. Mike, looking through their record this season, there's not a lot of close games for Lebanon. They've either won by a large margin or lost by a large margin. The closest one is the 2-1 loss to Pike back on September 19th.
And that was a good match for Lebanon because Pike is a 3A school that traditionally has been pretty solid in soccer. And they have been, both coaches have been trying to improve the strength of their schedule because they know that it's just going to make their clubs a little bit better, especially now that Lebanon has been moved into that very difficult sectional with Brebeuf and Chittard.
This will be Crystal Ramos, number 23 for Frankfort, trying to handle here. She's battling with number 25, Chloe Beltran. Coach said it's very important to keep everything in front of them tonight. We've seen a large part of this match early on here, Mike, in the first 10 minutes of just been a lot of play down here on Frankfort's side of the field.
There has. Early on, Lebanon has been the aggressor. Batista, number 26, playing for Frankfort defensively, just did a great job of getting the ball upfield. And here come the Hot Dogs.
Hot Dogs with an opportunity momentarily. Still possess it here. Nicely done. Maria Alanis. This one kicked out of play. It'll be put back in by number 9, Maya Newsom for the Lebanon Tigers. the throw in, and that was Riley Jump there, 19. When it's hard to see the numbers, you got to start looking for other things. Blue bandana or blue headband's what I'm going to be looking for now for Jump.
And if you're looking for Jump, there's no doubt that Frankfort wants to be looking for Jump too. That is a key that Coach Field talked about. They need to be able to find her and mark her on the field. She is their top and leading scorer as a sophomore for the Tigers, as they are offsides there.
So this will bring possession back to the Hot Dogs. We're winding down our season, Mike, here with the IHSAA. The sectional pairing show will be on September 29th at 8 p.m. You can watch that on IHSAATV.org. That's hosted by the ISC's own Greg Rakestraw. Does a little moonlighting for the IHSAA on the side. No, it's a great production, and Greg does such a great job. He really does. That's why we hired him, right?
Yeah, he is absolutely phenomenal. He's an encyclopedia of high school sports. It's always great to be around him. And it'll be fun and always exciting to see what teams draw which opponent as they prepare for the sectional. Again, every match is different. Yes, we can take a look at the scores and see 6-2, 7-1 here, but every field condition changes. Every team gets injured, and Frankfort has had their fair share of injuries this year as well.
It was nice fancy footwork there by Liz Cruz Sandoval in the middle of the field. Couldn't find a teammate, though. Mike, do you enjoy – I mean, it's always up for debate with the IHSAA because they do a blind draw versus seeding the teams based off a record. Do you think it would be more interesting coming towards a sectional championship if you had, you know, the two best teams coming potentially to play each other versus maybe being a round one matchup?
I've thought about that quite a bit, but I think what it takes to be a champion is to be able to focus in every match, and it doesn't really matter who you play. I think eventually champions are determined by outcomes on the playing surface. And so whatever the IHSAA chooses to do, I think from a program standpoint, you accept it and you prepare for it. There's no reason to try to push back against it. And I can understand the thought of being able to seed teams, but then again, champions are made on teams that perform, and that's what it's all about.
Throw in here for Frankfort, taken away by Lebanon. It's number 4 here, Summer Stogsdill. That young lady has 4 goals on the season for the Lebanon Tigers. Taken away by Frankfort was number 11 there, Peyton Myers for the Hot Dogs. Mike, you bring up a good point. You know, the cool thing about sports is there's always that debate, and people get passionate either way, right?
They do. They do.
It's always a great discussion, and all you have to do is bring up a couple of things in Indiana. Class basketball.
There it is. And it's like beating a dead horse when you talk about class basketball. And I can tell you this, from my perspective, I love class basketball because it gives communities like Frankfort a chance to win a championship each and every year, and it highlights the level of play at every level. And I think that has been a proven fact here.
You know, the diehards are the ones that they look at Milan and they talk about how great of a story that is. And, you know, the movie Hoosiers was kind of made after that story, and it's just something you won't get anymore. And so I understand. I do. I understand from the class perspective.
But still
corner kick here for Lebanon.
But no doubt, still winning a championship is still as exciting in class basketball as it was in the single class system. And we've seen over and over again the kind of attendance and support for class basketball in most recent times. For example, last year at the South Semi-State in Washington, which we broadcast on the ISC Sports Network, literally standing room only for the Class A championship between Bar Reeve and Bloomfield. And then Seymour the year before, Warren Central and New Albany. So I don't think class basketball is really hurting a thing and giving more kids a chance to compete for a title. And it still hurts. It still hurts when you lose, when you're in class sports.
You know what I think I would love is go ahead and classify him a state champion, but maybe do a grand champion where you play a tournament of the 4 or 6, depending on, the classes, whatever sport breaks out. Because there's years, I think, that there's been some really good Class A teams that could give a 6, a Carmel a run for their money.
Mm-hmm.
as an example. Run out here for Frankfort, opportunity, and hits the goal post.
Oh, my goodness.
Boy, that was number 25 that time, Janet Martinez, that had an opportunity to put one in the goal and just right off the post.
Nice run for Frankfort.
Lebanon not out of danger here, though, Mike. It'll be a corner kick opportunity for the Hot Dogs.
Liz Sandoval, number 10, the leading scorer for Frankfort, is being marked very closely by her Lebanon counterpart over there. They're really keeping an eye on her on the field.
That one played a little long. Lebanon able to take that away from the Hot Dogs. Out of bounds will be a throw in here for Lebanon. It'll be Addison Lawler who will toss it in for the Tigers, and it happens quickly. Go out of bounds, they immediately throw it right back in, Mike. Get back to play. Nice job for the goalkeeper to come up and fall on that one.
Boy, that was a tough chance there, and a good defensive effort by Kareem Quinones to get between her and the Lebanon attacker there as the goaltender picked up the ball. Again, from Lebanon's perspective, Sean, they're playing more defense. They're really packing it back in. They're making it difficult for Frankfort. But right now they're pushing their people up.
Elizabeth Rodriguez puts a good foot into this one. Another beautiful night for soccer. We had a little bit of rain come through the area earlier. Just enough to warm things up a little bit.
That's a good effort defensively by number 20, Arisbeth Rosales, coming up and playing defense.
Fans wanted a handball there on that play, not whistled. Now Frankfort. Lebanon's got some defenders back.
And again, Lebanon really packing it up defensively.
Now taken away by number 20, Madison Mayer. Already with the goal on this evening. It came from a penalty kick very early, right at the beginning of our match, if you're just tuning in.
Excellent job there by Cruz Sandoval, forwarding the pass up front.
Nice job handling it there, too, by Maria Alanis.
Lebanon had 6 defenders back there against 3 Hot Dogs. Again, both coaches would love to have their clubs organized out here.
Peyton Myers in the middle there for Frankfort, keeps just trying to change the field position.
Handball on the Hot Dogs, Peyton Myers, as you just mentioned.
They'll push it ahead, and right here's what Coach was talking about with Frankfort caught sleeping. And then Lebanon immediately takes advantage of it. Frankfort was not ready for that ball to be put in play that quickly.
Summer Stogstill, number 4, going to get credited, came up from the midfield and just flew away from the Frankfort defense for the goal. That's a big one now for a 2-0 spread here in the first half. And as much as Lebanon was packing in defensively, when they get the chance offensively, you can see how quickly they move into action.
Goalkeeper comes out here quickly for Jessica Stackhouse. She'll look to clear for Lebanon. Wind will hang this one up in the air. This portion of tonight's broadcast is brought to us by Thomas Phoenix Lawn and Garden. Ready to help make all your tall grass short. Save up to 20% with Husqvarna and fleet discounts on commercial cutting packages, starting as low as $48.99. Give them a call today, 296-2988, to see if you qualify for a special financing offer.
Riley Jump with the shot on goal there, number 19, the leading scorer, the sophomore for Lebanon. One of the things Coach Hyatt said, he'd like to see clean finishes. Certainly that was not the case there for the Lebanon Tigers. Riley probably should have held the ball little bit longer and then found a teammate to deliver the ball, but she was a little bit over anxious and fired that one wide of the net.
Header in the middle of the field and then taken away by Frankfort. Just a misplay there will give possession back to Lebanon. For Frankfort, it's been a little bit of a tough stretch, Mike. They've lost 6 straight matches, trying to right the ship. Here are the Lady Hot Dogs. They find themselves trailing here 2-0 early. Good pass ahead to a teammate. Had a chance. A little long to get set up, and then Frankfurt's spacing, because they reversed so quickly there, Mike, there were not anybody on this side of the field to help out.
And defensively, Lebanon was on the spot right in front of the goal, helping out that goalkeeper to keep the ball away from there, because there was a Frankfurt person right in front of the goal to finish that one.
Frankfurt will have a throw in here on their side of the field. Alanis for the Hot Dogs.
Boy, Lebanon
tripped up a little bit there.
They're really packing in the defense. It's really tough going for the Frankfurt Hot Dogs here as they open up the field.
I thought Alanis had a look there for a minute, Mike. It closed quickly. Shot here a little bit long. That was jump.
And Stogstill, Sean, did a nice job of setting up her teammate, serving the ball right in the middle of the field for jump.
Riley still looking for her 15th goal in the season. Back to play right here in the middle of the field. Frankfurt looking to attack now. That pass out of bounds. We talked, it'd been a little while since Frankfurt had gotten a win over Lebanon, but it came in 2017, where if you were watching our broadcast last night for the boys matchup with West Lafayette and Frankfurt, that game ended in a tie. No overtime, no extra period, because it was not a conference match. In the Sagamore Conference, however, if we were to end in a tie this evening, you would then go to a couple overtime periods, and then you would go to a shootout. That one in 2017 ended in Frankfurt's favor. I believe 5-4 in a shootout.
Lebanon has done very well on the counterattack in this match and been taking advantage of it. Speaking of that IHSAA overtime situation, it's very interesting because if a team scores in the first overtime, that does not necessarily mean that they win. They still have to play the second 7-minute overtime. And then if the opponent scores, then they move to the shootout. So it's very interesting. It's not sudden death, far from it.
It's one of those rules that just makes the athletic director stick around a little longer. They don't have families they need to get home to, right, Mike? I'm sure Mr. Ed Niehaus would agree with me on that notion.
Irene Ransom there with the kick a little bit too high, and they're kicking into the wind, so they have to make some adjustments out here on this pitch this afternoon as they head into the early hours of the evening here. The sun is still shining bright here in Frankfort.
Speaking of athletic director Ed Niehaus, I want to thank him for allowing us to be here, put this broadcast out for fans that cannot make it to the stands or make it here for the live event. Ed was a former baseball coach of mine. I'm sure he loves having me back around the facilities. I noticed they've got a nice wall of fame. I thought if they had a wall of shame, I might make that one. I don't know that the wall of fame's calling my name anytime soon, but we're trying. I had no problem finding the principal's office when I was here.
That's not such a bad thing. It's a great way to learn how to communicate.
I'm sure that Mr. John Milholland would feel differently about that. His name's on the court here in Case Arena.
And he was named to the second annual Hall of Fame here at Frankfort. And I was fortunate earlier this summer to receive a baseball cap from Mr. Milholland when he attended the IHSAA Foundation golf fundraiser in Prairieville. I saw him with Dave Nicholson, the former Hall of Fame coach from Noblesville, come out together. And I said to Coach, what's in your hand? He said, this is a hat. It's a Frankfort hat. Can I have it? He said, sure, here it is. Very nice. Ambassador of the Frankfort Hot Dogs program. I should have brought that Frankfort hat here tonight.
I'm going to have to find the athletic offices here before I leave tonight and see if I can't raid and find myself a hat as well. Did you ever get Mr. Milholland's autograph, though?
Thought about it.
I've got it a few times on some disciplinary transcripts. No, kidding aside, I wasn't too bad, I don't think.
Well, you've turned out well. Great experiences here.
Takes a little while to grow up, that's all. Lebanon will look to put the ball back in play here, up 2-0. Under 20 minutes to go here in the first. Give us some time to thank another one of our sponsors. But we give Gangware Insurance some love here. With markets for everything and everyone, and your time of need will be there. Give us a call at 765-379-3650 or visit gangwareinsurance.com for more information and a location near you. And there is a location here in Frankfort, Indiana.
Well, the difference so far in this match is that Frankfort has allowed 2 goals because Lebanon has been able to counter just like that. They're very quick at coming down the field and taking advantage of numbers there, and yet they've packed it in defensively and made it very difficult for the Hot Dogs to move the ball around.
What I've noticed tonight, Mike, is Lebanon's very quick at changing ends.
Mm-hmm.
And Frankfort, I think, feels like they've got time to get back, and Lebanon just beats them down the field, which is what we've seen early on. Now, you saw some more hustle there on that play by the defender trying to get back. I believe it was Jenny Garcia Cruz or Carolyn Morales that hustled back there for the Hot Dogs. Winner kick.
Wow.
Go off the crossbar. Out of play.
Don't see that too often. I tell you, the wind is playing a factor here, and it's to the advantage of Lebanon. When you can kick with the wind, that ball really carries. It's very hard to pick up, and it's a lot easier.
Is that the bend it like Beckham? Is that what we just saw right there?
It's bend them like Beckham. And you know, the other thing is to run with the wind. It's a lot easier to run with the wind as opposed to running into it.
So that is a benefit Frankfort will have in the second half, potentially.
No question about it.
We've talked about Lebanon and their sectionals, teams that they're lined up with. For Frankfort, they're in there with a host of Sagamore Conference rivals. With Crawfordsville, Danville, North Montgomery, and Tri-West. Then you add Greencastle to that mix.
Oh, there's a nice shot with the left foot to the far post. And the Tigers come up with another goal. It was just a very nice executed play by Lebanon.
The Tigers now up 3-0 over the Hot Dogs. And that came from number 20, I believe it was. So that's Madison Mayer's second goal of the night. This early lead definitely benefits the Lebanon Tigers. As I mentioned earlier, looking through their schedule, they've either won by a large margin or lost by a large margin. And right now, a 3-0 lead. It's not insurmountable, Mike, by any chance. There's a lot of soccer still left to play.
Chloe Beltran, by the way, Chloe Beltran, who just had the ball kicked away from her, has been very active on the offensive end. Every time they counter offensively, she gets to handle the ball.
You got this Sagamore Conference matchup tonight. Another one that's taking place or that will take place starting at 7 p.m. is Danville at Tri-West. And when you look at those conference leaders right now, Danville sits at 5-0, Tri-West at 4-0. That's basically the battle for the conference championship tonight taking place.
Yep, that's right there. And Danville gets to host sectional play. But for Frankfort, they'll have a chance to play at Danville, so they'll be very comfortable playing on the road. They'll have already seen that pitch, and that's also a very positive thing for this team to be able to feel comfortable playing in sectional play, to place where they played before.
Jessica Stackhouse with the save that time. Melly Alanis tried to put one in for Frankfort. Hot Dogs would like to find a goal here, try to cut into this deficit. But here comes Lebanon again, very quick at changing ends.
That's jump.
Jump battling a few different defenders and then a collision. Goalkeeper doing a great job of coming out in field now, and she'll get the worst of it, but at the same time saves another goal.
The challenge for Frankfort has been their defense. It hasn't been their offense. They've got really good, skilled players offensively. You can see that Lebanon is really taking advantage right now of the action up front. They are really attacking offensively with their front people, and Frankfort's having some challenges with that.
Sarah Brown kicked the ball out there for Lebanon. Substitution taking place here. They're going to switch goalkeepers, and he made a comment that we may see this happen if they fell behind early. This is Maite Fabian that'll come into goal for Frankfort. So Rodriguez will take a break, and you got to wonder maybe after that collision down there, coach going to give her a break for a second. This one played beyond the fence.
Lebanon obviously has been concerned with Frankfort's strength offensively, and as I mentioned, there have been as many as 6 or 7 defenders in front of the goal for the Tigers. And it makes it very difficult for Frankfort to find any space.
And it seems like everywhere Liz Cruz Sandoval goes, when she has the ball here, there are a host of Lebanon defenders that are following her around.
That was a
they
nice
have been
kick.
her shadow tonight.
Yeah, and that was a nice kick for her. Right on goal, though. Shows some strength.
This is Abril Hernandez.
The backside of the Frankfort defense has not handled the ball particularly well in today's match, unfortunately, as Peyton Myers kicks this one out of bounds, gives their defense a chance to rest just a tad.
This one played in front of the net, and right away Fabian gets tested. She does a good job here. And again, you talked about playing into the wind, Mike. You can see that one, just couldn't get a good foot on it, and it holds up right around here at midfield. That'll give you a headache. Played that one right off the bun. This one goes out of bounds off the head of Kareem Kionis. Out of bounds again, still with Lebanon here. Throw in from the side. Under 17 minutes to go. Actually, under a little over 12 minutes ago, I think our graphics have hung up on us.
I was going to mention there that Melly Alanese, number 18, and also 26, Batista, tried to trap the Lebanon opponent there on the side, and Batista's been running all over the field. She's been trying to make plays and really has to be in need of a break at this point in the match. The Lebanon Tigers offense have really stressed the backside of the Frankfort defense here in the first half.
So score still 3-0 here, Mike. This one played out by the Hot Dogs.
Good effort by Carolyn Morales, number 13 for Frankfort. They've got to find a way to win the ball here. Win the ball and then come and attack aggressively. You have to find a way to get on the board as time winds down.
Letting it being really aggressive here, as they should be. You got a couple of players down. That'll injury timeout. We'll stop the clock briefly. That'll stop the clock here in the stadium with the injury. Tough to see who it was that went down here. I believe it's 6, or is it 8? Either way I saw it, it looked like a kick to the shin.
Mm-hmm. Raleigh Jump, number 19, was the player that administered to it. And we were told now it's number 26, actually, Abigail Batista, so you did see the 6. And Batista was a player that, was, as I just mentioned earlier, was stressed and really active on the backside and also moving up into the front half, too, in one of the possessions. She's been all over the field. Hopefully she'll be okay.
It's a good shot of Frankfort's bench over on the other side of the field. It's a really cool facility, the way it's set up here, and even the press box that we're in, it's kind of set to service multiple fields. So you've got some softball fields out the backside of this. Obviously, we're looking at the soccer field tonight. The only bad thing is the sun being in your face. But what's cool is some of the fans get to just sit in their driveway, break out some chairs, and take in the match. Now, they should probably come over and make a donation to the athletic department, I would think. You know, just take in every game for free. And you are correct with Abby Batista, able to walk off under her own power, but a little gingerly. And, you know, Mike, I didn't see it, but I heard it. And then when I saw her fall, I knew that sounded like a kick to the shin, and that's got to hurt.
Mm-hmm. And she's been the most active defender, as I talked about, for Frankfort. So a bit of a loss for Coach Field. And that's a very difficult thing to deal with when you have a whole half in front of you.
Anybody who's ever forgot to take the receiver out of your hitch that's walked around and caught that in the shin knows exactly what Abby Batista's feeling like right now. That's awful. I don't think the shin bone is meant to be kicked or hit by anything metal.
No.
So Lebanon will look to put it back in play here. And Fabian with another save for Frankfort.
Wow. That was a tough chance from Summer Stogstill, number 4, because the ball took a very unique hop at the very end. Good job by the keeper to make the play for the Hot Dogs.
Clock rolling again here in the stadium as we are under 11 minutes now in the first half. These Lebanon Tigers looking to get their 5th win in the season. It'll be their 4th in conference play.
And the Tigers have finally pushed up their midfielders into the action here, which creates a little bit more tension for the Frankfort defense.
That's really what's been impressive, Mike, is they've done all their damage while not having to sacrifice their defense. They've been hovering back here, just providing a wall of these 3 defenders. Lexi Trepkos, Kirsten Dallas. I can't see the number of the 3rd defender there for Lebanon. Looks like number 3, Jessica Lemkuehler.
Coach Field wanted his team to start fast. They have not been able to do that. Lebanon has taken advantage of it.
Tonight's game, a product, the IHSAA Sports Network and their partnership with the Hot Dog TV Network. For what you are watching tonight is a student-produced production. Great opportunity for the students to come out and perfect the craft. You see the camera work there.
Mm-hmm. Lebanon in this match has virtually controlled the midfield as Lexi Trepkos, number 2, is handling the ball there for the Tigers.
I think it's a great thing that the schools have these radio TV programs, Mike. I mean, it's this business has been so great for me over the last few years that we've built here with the IHSAA Sports Network and MTC Sports Productions and, you know, our partnerships with the IHSAA and the MIC broadcast that we bring you every Friday that you can see live on WNDY and on Comcast across the state of Indiana. So it's a great opportunity for students to broadcast home games. And what's great, I think, for the schools, especially for the athletic directors, is they're able to keep their fans in the loop of what's going on because the fans can't always make it to the stadium. You've got grandparents and different people, especially as you get into the winter, that'll go down to Florida, and these broadcasts allow them to stay in tune and watch a grandchild or parents that travel. You talked last night, one of the young men's fathers in the west wing of the White House watching the soccer match last night between West Lafayette and Frankfort. How cool is that?
It is cool. And I think the other thing that people tend to forget is the fact that this is a great recruiting tool for these schools, both for their programs, but also for the individuals, because we know that there are college coaches that subscribe to the ISC Sports Network that take a chance to take a look at some of these kids, and without it, they wouldn't have the visibility that they would get had they not had this kind of coverage.
Another save here by Fabian. 22, Chloe Stogsdill checked back in for Lebanon. She started the match and came off, now comes back on here towards the end of the first half. Maite with another save. But I do think it's important, in an initiative is why we talk about putting these broadcasts out, and the fans that can't make it are the ones that can need to come. Your $5 that it takes to get into these matches is very inexpensive entertainment, and it helps pay for jerseys and balls and equipment and things of that nature that these young student athletes need. As Lebanon threatens again. Boy, I'll tell you, you talk about possession tonight. We don't have an actual clock on it, but it's got to be 90% or higher for Lebanon. They have just possessed the ball.
This is a smart move now for Frankfort to have someone kicking the ball out. They need a little bit more distance, get the ball past midfield, and then start the attack. But Lebanon has really pushed the ball inside, and as you mentioned, they're just controlling the midfield and controlling the action up front.
Another opportunity to thank one of our sponsors here tonight. This portion of our broadcast brought to us by Ardente Dental. Healthy smiles start here. Call to schedule your next appointment at 765-654-7222. Se habla español.
Good job by Quinones, number 6, getting the ball out to the midfield. Number 6 for Frankfort as Mayer keeps it alive for Lebanon. Now here's a run for Frankfort.
Frankfort with an opportunity. Not a lot of numbers here as Lebanon had the advantage there with 5 defenders back versus just the 2 offensive players. 6 if you count the goalkeeper, Mike.
That's Tamara Segura, number 17 for
what a great
Coach
pass.
Fields Club.
The push ahead here, and then Peyton Myers will try to get a foot and just take it out of bounds as she will. But this is going to lead to a corner kick for Lebanon. It's number 11 across the field here, Irene Ransom.
Coach Hyatt talked about executing set pieces offensively. This is a chance for that to happen right now for the Lebanon Tigers.
Lebanon threatening right in the middle of the field. Now and in, but a handball, I believe, is what was called against Lebanon, and very fortunate for Frankfort. That would have been goal number 4 here in the first half. Liz Cruz Sandoval, that's as open as she's been all night. Lebanon scouting report definitely knew to cover her up. Pass ahead here. Goalkeeper will come out and handle that, does Stackhouse. Just put a foot in it as the wind starts to pick up here at the field, and maybe some clouds starting to set in as well, Mike. That's not a terrible thing if the sun stays behind them for a minute.
Makes it a little bit cooler.
It makes it a little easier to see the numbers on the jerseys as well.
That too. And it is very difficult to see Lebanon's jerseys. That gold on white is really hard to pick up here. And again, they are attacking offensively.
Well, I tell you, wide open in front of the net.
Stogsdill hit the post.
Maybe a little bit overzealous that time. An easy pass to a teammate would have definitely led to the 4th goal, and that was Riley Jump standing right in the front, wide open. But you can't blame somebody for taking a shot. Want to get a goal tonight?
Yeah. Good job by Alanese, 16 for Frankfort, keeping it alive. There's a penalty. Indirect free kick for the Hot Dogs here.
So free kick opportunity to be Cruz Sandoval. who will handle these kicking duties. Huge opportunity here for the Hot Dogs, maybe to steal some momentum right before the half as we approach the 3-minute mark. Sandoval goes over the top, and a nice save there by Stackhouse.
Wow. It was a nice save, and the wind sort of played favor with it, pulling it down, and good job by the Tigers keeper to come up with the play.
Cruz Sandoval with it now for Frankfort. Fancy footwork in the middle, then taken away by Stogsdill. Frankfort back on the attack. Misplayed that time by Janet Martinez. But then knocked out from Lebanon. Throw in here for Frankfort. Tamara Segura, you hear the whistle there. It'll give the possession back to Lebanon.
Good job by Jump.
Yep, good pass back to the middle of the field, and now looked like Lebanon was going to have numbers there for a minute had they switched the side of the field. Jump doing battle there against Kareem Quiones.
And once again, Lebanon, with the attack, is able to create another corner kick. And they need to execute quickly here because the clock is running well under 2 minutes.
Give us an opportunity after this corner kick. We'll get our next sponsor read in. And this field in the press box doesn't give us that shot right there to the corner, unfortunately, so you lose it. Good save by Frankfort momentarily. Lebanon still threatening here.
Wow, nearly a goal there by Lebanon. A great attack by number 25, Chloe Beltran.
This portion of our broadcast brought to us by IU Health, Indiana University Health, Arnett Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Providers deliver high-quality comprehensive care for soft tissue, bones, and joints. Visit them online at iuhealth.org/Arnett or call 448-8000 to schedule an appointment. I thank all of our sponsors here tonight that make these broadcasts possible, these learning opportunities for these students. This production put on in cooperation with the Hot Dog TV Network and the ISC Sports Network. This shot on goal a little wide. 30 seconds left. Cruz Sandoval with a head of steam headed down the field. Then taken away by Chloe Stogsdill. Knocked out. Frankfort will have a throw in here. About 4 seconds left to play. This one kicked out of bounds. Stogsdill said, I'm ready for halftime. I'm over it. And there is your whistle as we run out of time here in the first half. It's 3-0 Lebanon. When we come back, it'll be the Fiber Hawk halftime show. We'll take a quick break. We'll have more coverage for you here on the ISC Sports Network.
The fate of your mouth is on your shoulders.
Showtime, cavity bud.
Dr. Snyder and the Ardente Dental Guardians help you fight to keep your mouth healthy. Call Dr. Snyder and the Ardente Dental Guardians at 654-7222. We protect smiles of all ages.
Ardente Dental is a happy place.
Mom, we're late, and I left my soccer bag at Cindy's, and I need to get my dress today.
It's okay, honey. I'll take care of it.
Oh, Mom, I'll take care of it.
We'll take care of it. With more ways to access Indiana's most highly skilled primary care doctors.
Stop!
Indiana University Health makes it easy to take care of your family.
What? I told you I'd take care of it.
Schedule same-day primary care appointments at 1-888-IU-HEALTH.
Every business we work with at Haley's has different security needs. As a certified Medico Security Center, we provide the highest quality products with affordable solutions for your business. E-cylinders fit into your existing hardware and are controlled from your computer. Medico Smart Solutions provide options for different employee access levels. Patented key control, loss and liability protection. Surveillance cameras protect your employees and your business. Call today for your free business security assessment. Let the professionals at Haley's keep your business safe with locations in Lafayette and Crawfordsville.
Hi, I'm Ashley with the Farmers Bank. I'm here to introduce the Farmers Bank mobile banking app for your smartphone. Find us at the App Store or the Play Store. To find our app, search for the Farmers Bank Mobile Banking by Serve Solutions. Have your finances at your fingertips anytime, all the time. Sign up today. The Farmers Bank, your local bank, your mobile bank, your bank for life. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey Mom and Dad, as a teen, I have a right to privacy when it comes to my health care. As a parent or guardian of a teen, there are a few things you can do to help.
Respect our privacy. Let us have one-on-one time with our doctor. Allow us to make our own appointments, fill out our own paperwork, and encourage us to speak up for our own healthcare needs.
For more tips and information, call Healthy Communities at 765-659-6063.
Thomas Phoenix Lawn and Garden is your local Husqvarna dealer. With us, you'll find a knowledgeable staff that's able to provide quick turnaround service so your business doesn't have to stop. From zero-turn mowers to trimmers and chainsaws, Husqvarna has you covered. And with the fleet program, the more you buy, the more you get in return. With that kind of stability, you can rely on us for the long haul. Get your Husqvarna equipment today at Thomas Phoenix Lawn and Garden, located at 6292 West County Road 0 in Frankfort.
It's halftime here at Frankfort High School, and our halftime show brought to us by FiberHawk. Now available, FiberHawk Internet, super fast speeds, no more buffering, perfect for all sizes of business. FiberHawk offers every speed to meet your internet needs. For more on offerings and availability, go to fiberhawk.com or call 765-922-HAWK. Fast, affordable, FiberHawk. And I'll tell you what was fast tonight. It's been Lebanon's offense. They have changed ends so fast, Mike, that I think they caught Frankfort off guard on 2 of those goals, and they lead right now 3-0 at the half.
Well, Sean, they took advantage of Frankfort's weakness, their backside. They've dominated the midfield play, strong counterattack, and frankly, Frankfort has made a few mental breaks during the course of this match in the first half. And the thing that really stands out to me, too, is probably Mayer and Jump both have played extremely well.
Yeah.
There have been times where nobody has marked Jump, and yet she's an outstanding player, and she's had some opportunities.
For Mayer, the captain, came in with 5 goals on the season. She's got 2 here tonight. So, and she's got a whole nother half to go to work. So look for her to see if she can at least get the hat trick rocking for the Lebanon Tigers. For Frankfort, if you're in the huddle over there, what's Coach telling them right now, down 3-0?
Well, first of all, they've got to do a better job in the midfield and be better organized, and they haven't been able to do that. They have not had really good keeping either from the standpoint of clearing the ball out of their own zone. It just seems like each and every time the ball's been kicked out of the goal from Frankfort, Lebanon has been able to keep it on their half of the field. So those are a few adjustments, but then on the other hand, they're getting the wind in their favor. That's been a huge factor here in the first half. That may be a plus. I was impressed by Cruz Sandoval. Cruz played really well in the first half, and she tried to take the game on her shoulders near the end of this, frame, and did a pretty good job. As long as she's
had a couple of looks from distance. The closest that Frankfort had to a goal came from who was it? Was it Abby Bautista, number 26, or Janet Martinez, 25? It was one of those two down here that just kicked it off the goal post. Was very close to putting one in for Frankfort at one point there in the first half. But unfortunately for Frankfort, did not go in. Lebanon leads this one 3-0.
And they've deserved that 3-0 lead because they pretty much dominated the first half of play. And for the most part, as we saw, Lebanon really packed it in defensively. And then when they had to counter, they were able to get the ball out quickly, and they were able to quickly move down the field, as you mentioned, and take advantage of some really neat opportunities.
That's going to do it for our FiberHawk halftime show. Remember, FiberHawk, 765-922-HAWK. Fast, affordable FiberHawk. Back with more soccer here on the ISC Sports Network when we return.
Hello, love. Welcome back to another edition of Sock Takes TV. I am by far the most humble person here. Okay, I'm a lot better than he is. If you're getting accused of celebrating too much, maybe you have some good team chemistry. This is just a recurring theme in our lives.
I brought you a present. A book.
Follow the adventures of the Ardente Dental team as they fight cavities, gum disease, and create beautiful, healthy smiles.
Inconceivable! Hello, my name is Dr. Snyder. You cause cavities. Prepare to die. Inconceivable!
To make your smile look straight and fine, our braces per month are just $1.99.
Inconceivable!
You keep using that word, I do not think it means what you think it means.
Have fun at Ardente Dental.
Daily since 1969, Haley's Lock, Safe, and Key has provided expertise and solutions when dealing with residential or commercial security needs. Whether you're looking for a safe, seeking access solutions, or in need of automotive keys, nobody can serve you better than Haley's.
One-on-one service and simply the best solutions we've been providing at Daily for more than 40 years.
Haley's Lock, Safe, and Keys. Call, visit, or find us online. 2 locations, Crawfordsville and Lafayette.
And we're back. This is actually turning out much better than I thought it would.
So here we are today. This is awesome.
I feel like we've done this before. Is that how the whole interview is going to be?
Yeah.
Either works.
Yeah.
Really?
You want to do this?
Doing better
It's 3 letters. How can you screw that up?
Live every week here on going forward. It will be streaming live on the ISCSportsNetwork.com at 6:30, or if you do get their cable channel, you can watch it there as well. So very, very exciting.
Hello everyone, this is Lanny Seago. I'll help you along the way to become more familiar with this guy, because there's literally people like Dick Atha all across the state of Indiana. I've known who you are for a long time, but now I know a lot more.
We chose Haley's for our video surveillance needs because we've had great luck with them on the lock, safe, and key side, and when we found out that they also do video surveillance, we right away knew that we could trust Rick and his team over there. I would definitely recommend Haley's Lock, Safe, and Key to any business owner. They take great care of you, they have good, fair prices, and service after the sale is tremendous.
For security solutions and unbeatable support after the sale, visit Haley's in Lafayette and Crawfordsville.
Running a small business. Your hands are full. We can help. FiberHawk partners with local companies by providing business-class internet, phone, TV, and customized bundles to meet your needs. Our fiber-powered system delivers reliable speed with enhanced security. Running a business is tough. Contact FiberHawk today and let our expert team give you a hand.
We love to see you here at the Farmers Bank. However, we know there are times you need to bank on your schedule, wherever you may be. With the Farmers Bank mobile banking app, you can check balances, transfer funds, pay bills, and now you can also securely deposit checks with your smartphone by simply taking a picture of the check. Download our mobile banking app today. The Farmers Bank, your local bank, your mobile bank, your bank for life.
We're back at Frankfort. Great shot there by our camera crew as we are set to start our second half. Lebanon on top of Frankfort in this one right now, 3-0 from Frankfort High School. What's a beautiful night for soccer. A great facility here at Frankfort. This has been built, I believe, in the last 10 years, Mike, that they've come over and added onto this. They owned this land out in front of the middle school that had sat here for a good 20 years without much here except for someone to mow, right? Big open field, and put this facility out here. It's absolutely spectacular. Hats off to Ed Niehaus, the facilities and the construction and remodels that have happened at Frankfort High School over the last couple of years. They've got a brand new front to the school. Case Arena's been remodeled. They're working on the natatorium right now where the swimming's handled. That one finds its way into the net, and that is jump. So Riley Jump provides a jump start here in the second half right away, 4-0 now Lebanon.
They did. She was on the right side of the field. She was unmarked. Not a whole lot of action on the defensive end for Frankfort. They had some numbers, and she just fired it home on the far post for another Tiger score at 4-0.
Alluding to is I didn't expect Lebanon to run right down the field and put another goal in, but the remodels that have been happening, and we may get another one here. I am really impressed with Lebanon and how quickly they change in. The ball's in the middle of the field, and before you know it, boom, they're on the attack with numbers.
And Coach Hyatt talked about executing offensively some set pieces. That obviously was one of them. Right off the bat, much like what we saw last night in Frankfurt, boys coming up with the first goal right off the bat in the first half of the match.
You know what I'm most happy for the Frankfurt students is I believe they now have air conditioning in the school. That is something we didn't have in 1997 when I was here, Mike.
Wow.
We had to go to what they called heat days, where you came in earlier and got out of school earlier because it would be so hot. You'd have windows open, and I'm sure I can't say I witnessed it, but students kind of, jumping out of windows and taking off and getting leaving school early. That shouldn't have happened.
No.
That never happened. I'm not going to provide any ideas there for anyone. It's awesome. It's always good to see your alma mater when they are able to put in new facilities and have nice playing fields, great new learning centers and things of that nature. So hats off to Frankfort and the community, the taxpayers, and everyone who's been involved in the remodels.
There's definitely a payoff with that. As you see Regalado, number 22, the midfielder coming up for Frankfort, making a play.
So it'll be a throw-in on this side for Lebanon. Irene Ransom will toss it in. Ransom name synonymous with Frankfort as well. There's been some Ransoms in the community for quite some time. Body check here.
There's a bump. There's a solid bump in the backside by number 25 for Lebanon. That's Beltran. Surprised she didn't get a yellow card there. That was a little bit unnecessary, that contact.
Those are things you expect to see in hockey, not necessarily in soccer.
Kareem Quinones took a huge hit there.
She pops back up, though. Give her some credit for being tough. Lebanon able to sneak in and knock this one the other way. Quinones will pass to Cruz Sandoval. I believe the soccer state finals will be held at Fishers this year. Our ISC sports crew will be producing that for the IHSAA. 2-day event on a Friday and Saturday. I know that there's been talks over the last couple of years of potentially finding an indoor home just to get away from the weather elements towards the end of the year that you run into, Mike. I know we've endured some rainy days trying to get the state finals in. Throw in here for Lebanon.
And rain really chases the perplexion of the way things are going. Look at that pass there,
Run
Mayer.
out here. Third opportunity, and a great play. And the original goalkeeper, Elizabeth Rodriguez, has checked back in for Frankfort.
I thought Mayer may have gone for the far post, but just let that one fly.
A throw in here for Frankfort. And a correction, that is actually Jesse Ramos that is in goal for Frankfort.
Good opportunity now for Frankfort for the first time in a long time. The hot dogs are going to get a corner as that one came off the leg very quickly of Jessica Lemkuhler, number 3, the defender for the Lebanon Tigers.
So great opportunity here for the hot dogs. See if they can put one in the back of the net on this exchange. 35 minutes on the clock. You talked about the win in their favor, and it's Cruz Sandoval, and she was able to get a header on it and had an opportunity there, Mike, just wide.
I thought it was there. It was a good pass, good service right in the middle of the field.
So Frankfort now with their 3rd goaltender of the evening as Jesse Ramos checks in. I saw the 0. I didn't see the 00. And so thank you to staff up here in the press box for keeping me in line. I need that every once in a while. I told you that was my whole high school career here, was being kept in line. Shot there handled by Lebanon and their goalkeeper, Jessica Stackhouse.
That kick was from Ariana Regalado, number 22.
What a great name for a goalkeeper, Stackhouse.
Stackhouse. Jerry Stackhouse, the new men's basketball coach at Vanderbilt.
Did he finally quit playing? I thought he's like 85 now, isn't he?
Where is he? Maybe not at Vanderbilt. Maybe there's some other school. But nevertheless, Lebanon doing a great job on the attack here.
Frankfort very fortunate there. They snuck it past Jump. Now she takes it away. Tries to go over the top again. That one carries a little long. Jump found pay dirt early here in the second half. She provided that 4th goal. There's a good look at Jesse Ramos, the junior hot dog. How about another opportunity to give our sponsors some love? Give a shout out to Healthy Communities. Finding and applying for health insurance is hard, especially now when we get that. Our mission is to help not only children and families, but everyone. We can help you obtain the coverage you need at a price you can afford. Our help is free, unbiased, and local. For more information, visit healthyclintoncounty.org. Thank you to Laura Archibald and Healthy Communities of Clinton County. Kathy Martin and the gang. Kathy, the head girls volleyball coach at Rossville. Laura joins us on the broadcast from time to time on our volleyball coverage that you've seen both on the ISC Sports Network with our full production as well as our student-produced program here with Hot Dog TV.
Trepkos there doing a good job defensively for Lebanon, and for Frankfort for the first time they got a counter run, and now they've got the ball on the Lebanon side.
The throw in by 22, Ariana Regalado. She'll do it again. They'll put that one out of play. Cruz Sandoval gets it in for the hot dogs. And then just misplayed there.
That was a solid throw in there by number 4, Summer Stogsdill.
It really was, and Chloe Beltran did a good job of dancing through some defenders there. It looked like Lebanon was going to have an opportunity for a moment. Pushing the back there.
Yeah, good call. Penalty there, and number 2. Lexi Trepkos coming up from the defensive end.
Free kick for the hot dogs. Like we talked for Frankfort, it's 6 straight losses coming into this one, and if things don't turn tide very quickly, they'll be looking at their 7th straight loss. But it's been a run for the hot dogs where they've struggled to put the ball in the net. They lost a close one against Oak Hill, and then they lost 5-3 at Northmont. But other than that, they were shut out in 4 of those 6 contests. If they can't find a way to put one in the old onion sack here tonight, it would be 5 out of 7 that they would be shut out. And you know the home fans at this point, they just want to see the hot dogs get in the scoring column.
Yeah, they want to score a goal, but they've got to play better defensively here. And they haven't been able to accomplish that in this match. Lebanon has completely controlled most of this outing here today.
Lebanon and Frankfort, such long-standing rivals, especially in basketball. That is the biggest rivalry for Frankfort, and I'm guaranteeing it's probably for Lebanon as well. As neighboring, cities, Boone County, Clinton County, they're the two big schools that sit in the county seat.
Mm-hmm. Here's another run out for the
Run out
Tigers.
for jump. That one just a little wide. Well, she's had a few opportunities tonight. She's gotten one so far.
Yep.
So a kick here for Ramos for the Hot Dogs. She'll look to clear it, and we'll see if changing ends helps at all here for Frankfort with the wind. That one low. They kicked it right back to her. You get a do-over every once in a while. This played on the far side of the field. Be a throw-in for Lebanon, and they very quickly get it in, try to get into their offense. Nice passing, Beltran. Can't get enough on that one to get it past Ramos. Back towards midfield. Good job that time by number 11, Irene Ransom, using her body to shield the defender, their offensive player, excuse me.
Yeah, you got to like that.
Back and forth exchange. Seeing a little more pep in Frankfurt's step here in the last couple of minutes of play.
Mm-hmm.
Ramos will come up again. Another kick back towards midfield. Cruz Sandoval with it now for the Hot Dogs. Misplayed here on the pass out of bounds. That'll give possession back to Lebanon. It was 2 years ago, Mike, in that 2017 season that Frankfort went 11-6-1. They went 5-2 in conference, which was good for second place, finishing behind an undefeated Danville that year. And that's the season, if you remember, we talked earlier about the shootout victory against these Lebanon Tigers. The pass ahead to jump. Another opportunity here for Riley. And Ramos has done a nice job since she's come in covering things up. They snuck one by her early.
They have, if they can put the ball up in the air, they've got a chance. But that every time they put the ball on the ground, Ramos has done a very nice job of fielding it. They have really taken the advantage of attacking on the offensive end.
Handball, I believe, is the call here. So Cruz Sandoval, with a free kick opportunity. Lebanon at 4-7 on the season, Mike, but they haven't had less than 8 wins their previous 3 years. It's a Lebanon team that has done really well, not only in the regular season, but in conference play as well. 2018 going 8-4-3, 5-1 in conference. In 2017, they were 11-5, finished 4-2 in conference play. And 8-7-2 back in 2016. All those were under head coach Rachel Becker at the time. Good job by Ramos, just a run out, kick it back towards midfield, and retreat back to goal.
Lebanon's played pretty competitively, even some of the losses, frankly, when you look at the scores. A couple 4-1 losses to West Lafayette and Lafayette Central Catholic. 3-1 loss to Park Tudor. And Tri-West, as we talked about, undefeated. They lost 6-2, and that was at Liston. Again, very difficult to play on the road.
we come back next year, I'm going to remember my sunglasses.
Yeah.
Promise.
The sun right now is really intense on,
you know why, though?
on this side of the stadium.
It's my future so bright I got to wear shades, Mike. You can get away with those things during soccer. It's what I've been told.
Nice.
The groans from the press box. It's 4-0. I have to have something good to talk about, right? That looked like maybe a handball there. Yep, and then waved. Just a late whistle there. Frankfort with a free kick opportunity. Hot Dogs look to try to go down and get that 0 off the scoreboard. Give the home fans something to cheer about here for Frankfort. This one will come off the foot of Ariana Regalado.
You know, Sean, I was just thinking, as much as Liz Cruz Sandoval, such a good offensive player for Frankfort, I wonder if Coach Field will consider moving her to the back end because they really need some help there. And she could be a difference maker, as there's a player looks like maybe shaken up a little bit. Looks like she's
knocked
okay.
down, popped right back up.
Yep. You know, if you put your best player back at the back end in your weakest slot, maybe it strengthens your club a little bit more as you head into tournament play.
Play this down towards Lebanon's end. Beltran trying to track it down, realizing she'd have an opportunity for goal here. And the misplay by Frankfort here actually gives Lebanon a corner kick opportunity.
And they can take plenty of time because with that 4-0 lead, the clock continues to run. About 23 minutes and change.
Hot Dog fans still cheering them out. You hear that? Let's go, Hot Dogs. This one played right back into the middle and then kicked out. So Frankfort will take possession here. And beautiful night for soccer here on the ISC Sports Network. This production in cooperation with the Hot Dog TV Network, student-produced broadcast. Thank you to both coaches and their staffs for getting us our information, preparing us for the game.
I think Coach Hyatt has to be pretty pleased with his Lebanon Tigers, especially how they've come out here in the second half early on. They seemed to be in cruise control in the first half with 3-0, and then they came out with some intensity here to start the second half off, which is very important.
Misplayed off the body there by Lebanon. It was Jessica Lemkuehler. Now Frankfort have a throw in. Looks like a substitution at goal now will take place for Lebanon. So that's either Abby Johnson or Lexi Puckett coming into goal. Tough to see jersey. Do our best to get that for you if we can. Looks like 77, so that's going to be Lexi Puckett, the junior goalkeeper. If I were to play soccer, Mike, that's what I would be. I'd have to be a goalkeeper.
So, yeah. How about 77? That's a good number.
That is a good number. It's about the age I feel anymore, too.
Oh, my goodness. That could have been trouble for Frankfort.
Ramos tried to come out and get it. Thankfully for her, the wind kind of carried it wide of the goal. Talked about the boys program last night for Frankfort having success winning sectional titles the last couple of years. This girls program still looking for their first title in school history. Lebanon is as well. And as you mentioned, Lebanon's got a lot harder with the sectional they got moved into. And that's no discredit to the teams in Frankfort sectional because you got number one Tri-West sitting there at a 11-0-1. The Lady Hot Dogs got their 100th career win as a school earlier this season when they defeated Rossville. And with soccer, it's one of those sports not all schools carry it. So the 4 schools here in Clinton County, only Frankfort and Rossville offer soccer programs. Clinton Central, Clinton Prairie do not field teams.
And that, over time, can be an advantage to these 2 schools in attracting quality soccer players.
But for Rossville, I think they have to offer soccer. They don't play football. No football program at Rossville, but there's such a big basketball school. I tell you, Friday nights in Rossville, they pack the house. And I think that's one of the reasons why they have what is called Cram Case Arena. And that's the night when Rossville comes here. And they pack it. The Frankfort fans show up, the Rossville fans show up, and Case Arena has that nostalgic feel. If you've never been to Case Arena, you got to come. You got to check it out. I mean, the movie Blue Chips was filmed here, Mike.
Of course.
I think I was in middle school when that happened. Might have told you this story, actually. Was so excited they were here. You know, you had Shaquille O'Neal and Penny Hardaway and all these superstars, you know, not only players, but then actors. Ed O'Neill from Married with Children. And I had backstage, like, a pass because we worked backstage concessions and took care of people, you know. And so the only person, though, that I wanted to meet, I got everybody's autograph but one person, Robert Montgomery Knight. And I know that's someone that you know well.
Oh, yes.
But as a kid, I just idolized Bob Knight. And, you know, never got to meet him. He was always the toughest one to get to.
It's hard to believe. Well, if
I know you met him enough times for both of us, but
I tell you what, if you came down to Bloomington, all you need to do is look for the guy in the hunting attire.
Right.
The only guy in the hunting attire.
And stay out of his
in mid-afternoon at Assembly Hall. There was Coach Knight. And contrary to popular belief, he's someone that's very private, that never really wanted much attention at all, and always surrounded himself with intellectual people. Most of his closest friends and associates were professors, and distinguished professors at Indiana University, I would say. A very interesting individual.
One of my favorite places to eat, if you've never been there, it's actually changed hands in recent years, but inside is very cool. It's in Brown County. You go to Little Nashville. It's called the Sandwich Shop, and it was owned by one of Bob Knight's good friends over the years. I met him. I forget the gentleman's name right now, but my wife and I happened upon it on our anniversary, and I went down there, and it is just IU memorabilia from back in the day, the Bob Knight era. It's very cool. Of course, if you're a Purdue fan, you don't care about the last 3 minutes of this broadcast, but you can't please everybody. It happens.
It's all right.
Liz Cruz Sandoval handle now for Frankfort. Every once in a while you have filler commentary when you get into a match that's maybe lopsided one direction, which seems to be that way tonight with Lebanon up 4-0 in this one.
Now, the good news, though, that the Frankfort young ladies do not have their heads down. They're still playing with a lot of grit and determination.
That's a great point, Mike.
You know, they haven't quit. They're still working out there, and that's really important. And they're competitors through and through. And this young lady with the ball, Cruz Sandoval, is a fantastic player. She's very skilled.
You can tell there's a lot of talent there. Frankfort with an opportunity here. The kick just wide. Boy, what a great shot there on the camera angle. Missed by about a foot. And with that, we'll give some more sponsors some love. How about the Farmers Bank? Locally owned and operated with 10 banking offices located in central Indiana, providing retail, business, trust, and asset management investment, mortgage, and electronic banking services. The Farmers Bank is here to support you every step of the way. The Farmers Bank, my bank for life. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
I mentioned earlier in the broadcast the second Hall of Fame group at Frankfort High School back in January. One of those was the late Karen Miller, the first president of Farmers Bank.
Wonderful lady. Kicked out by Frankfort. It'll be a throw in here for Lebanon. Yeah, Karen Miller was absolutely fantastic. She did a lot, not only for the Farmers Bank, but for the community. She sat on one of the community boards here in town, and I forget the name of it, but they give money each year to those not-for-profits in need, and it's just fantastic. I know her passing was definitely felt in the community and at the bank, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Cruz Sandoval for Frankfort. And then the double team sneaks in and takes it away. Mayer will pass ahead, looking for jump. Jump gets by one defender, and now in a foot race with the goalie. And boy, Ramos there looked like she was running like her hair was on fire trying to get to it before Jump could sneak another one in. Great job by Jessica. Or by Jessie, excuse me. Substitutions take place, get some fresh legs on the field.
Yeah, it's great to give opportunities to a number of different individuals. Number 4, Christina Espidio, senior forward, is in the match now for Frankfort.
Yeah, number 20 as well, Arizbeth Rosales.
Quinones, number 6, has played very hard for Frankfurt today. Unfortunately, they have not been able to muster anything offensively whatsoever against this Lebanon Tiger Club.
You know what else is cool, Mike, is the last 2 nights we've seen nice turnouts from the home fans. Both sets of bleachers underneath this press box right now with quite a few butts in the seats, which is fantastic to see the families and the fans coming out and supporting these Lady Hot Dogs and even the boys soccer team last night.
It may be one of the best values in the entire area to come out to a high school sporting event.
Is it not?
You can bring your whole family.
Popcorn's cheap.
Yeah.
You get something to drink.
It's phenomenal.
The kick here. Ramos right there for it. Again, we said it earlier, but I really feel like Jessie's done a fantastic job tonight here in the second half for Frankfurt in goal. Chloe Beltran takes it away. Opportunity here. The kick, and she gets it by Ramos.
That was a great finish, and that's what Coach Hyatt talked about for his Lebanon Tigers to be able to do to get a victory. As Beltran finishes with the 5th goal for the Tigers. And Ramos probably thinking about it, probably should have come out and been a little bit more aggressive, but she waited. But yet, great kick there by the Tigers.
Yeah, she started backpedaling, and at that point in time, I think Beltran realized she had an even better opportunity. She'll get the goal. She'll also get to rest now on the sideline as Lebanon with a very comfortable 5-0 lead with under 13 minutes to play.
And you only get better by playing. You only get better by playing, and it takes a long time to turn a program and to move it forward, especially when you're playing right now with a lot of young people on the pitch. And I think Coach Field has a lot to look forward to with the Frankfurt Hot Dogs.
Lebanon right now going the wrong direction as they look to try to change field position, taken away by the Hot Dogs. Maybe an opportunity here. Misplayed a little bit on the overpass. Now Lebanon will change ends. See the speed there. It was number 8 for Frankfurt, Erica Perez, that was able to beat her to the ball. Then misplayed off her foot. Now jump. There's Jessie Ramos with another save.
That time was a nice save. She came out of the box, stepped up, cut the angle, made the play.
Stogsdill. Fancy footwork, gets around one defender and taken away. For these Lebanon Tigers, a victory here tonight would bring them to 5-7 on the season. Looking ahead at their schedule. Up next for them, they have North Montgomery on October 2nd. That'll be at North Montgomery. That's one of the early lessons I learned when I got into broadcasting in this area is you don't call them Northmont. It is North Montgomery. They don't like that.
It's too much like Southmont.
Well, Southmont is the actual name of the school is what I was told because that's what I said. Well,
yes.
It was, North Montgomery. I'll add into it. I don't want to make anybody mad. And it was Southmont. And they said, well, that's their actual name. And, we are, it's the full Montgomery County. Yeah. I'm with you.
Chargers are really struggling as well in soccer. So Lebanon might be able to put back-to-back wins here in the Sagamore Conference.
That'd be a huge boost to them, too, because if they get a win tonight, they'd go to 4-2 in the conference. A win against North Montgomery would move them to 5-2. And, Danville and Tri-West set to battle it out tonight on the pitch. Both of those teams undefeated, so a chance for Lebanon if they can win the next two and then get maybe the loser of tonight's game between Danville and Tri-West to lose another, you might move yourself into a second-place tie, which would be big for the Lebanon Tigers.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, we've talked about the Hall of Fame with Frankfort and some of their well-known people that have come through the school over the years. Case Arena or Everett Case, which is why we have Case Arena. Kyle Cook, who's in Matchbox 20. There's more.
One person in particular I've always known
Cindy
about
Wine.
is Ralph Vaughn. Ralph Vaughn played on a 36 basketball championship team, an all-stater. He was a leading scorer in the Pac-10, or perhaps the Pac-8 back then at Southern California. He was a fantastic basketball player, and a lot of people, including myself, who's not from Frankfort, always knew about him, as well as Coach Milholland, who's just an outstanding basketball coach, led the Hot Dogs to a number of regional championships.
You talk about Lebanon, you got to talk about Rick Mount.
Yep.
One of the greatest shooters of all time, really.
The Walker brothers, Coach Rosensteel.
The Walker brothers might or might not be relation. Maybe or maybe not. Brian and Steve are their first names.
Yeah. Relatives.
Speaking of, there's a little bit of a tie here. So Everett Case was famed for his high school coaching days at Frankfort as well as NC State. And Brian and Steve Walker, when they graduated high school, first found their way to NC State before transferring to Purdue.
And I will also point out this, which was another Frankfort tie, Jay McCreary. Longtime LSU.
Great save.
Yeah, tremendous save there by Ramos. Jay McCreary played here at Frankfort, had a great coaching career at LSU, Louisiana State, also played collegiately at Indiana University. And many years ago, I had a chance to talk to Jay, did a nice feature story on him on an Indiana basketball game program. Lots of history here. This is where winners come from. Frankfort is a town of champions.
I got it. I got hope. There's hope for me yet, Mike. Is that what you're telling me? Uh-huh. All right. I love it. Vote of confidence. How about a vote of confidence for Titma RMC? An in-home energy assessment is easy, convenient, and a free way to measure your home's energy efficiency, lowering your energy bills and saving you money. To schedule your free assessment, visit titma.org. Titma RMC, empowering our communities.
I would encourage people to take advantage of that home assessment because it can save you money in terms of the kinds of light bulbs you use, the way you use your water, all sorts of things. It all adds up.
But I tell you, for Jessie Ramos, she has been busy down here on this end, but she's done a fantastic job. I know that Riley snuck one right over her head to start the second half. Then she backpedaled on one that she probably should have came up on. But for the amount of shots that they've put on her, she's done a great job in goal.
And she has.
Stogsdill in the middle for Lebanon. Speaking of Brian and Steve Walker, just another thing to dig at the Purdue fans that might be listening tonight. This is actually something good that they did, but the last time that Purdue made a Final Four, there was a Walker on that team.
Yes, there was.
So
that coach.
Shout out to the family.
That ball club was coached by Lee Rose, and the senior manager was Alan Karpick, now president and publisher of Gold and Black Illustrated. Alan, a classmate of mine at West Lafayette High School, does a tremendous job with Boilers Inc. That basketball team was outstanding with Joe Barry Carroll, now a famed artist, doing a tremendous job selling his artwork all across the country.
Was Dave Bear on that squad as well? Or was he after?
He was after. He was
Anthrop?
After
as well?
Yep.
Okay.
That ball club had Mike Scooby Scares. Scooby from Lexington, Kentucky. In fact, Coach Rose had coached at Transylvania now in the Heartland Athletic Conference. Coach Rose had 2 sons, Mark and Mike. Mike played football at Indiana. Mark, a pitcher, and there's a goal.
Goal that time by number 11, Irene Ransom. She gets into the scoring column. She is the 5th Lebanon Tiger to do so tonight, and they lead 6-0.
They've really worn down the Frankfort defense in this match. There's no doubt about it. You can tell right now for the first time in throughout the whole match, you're starting to see the players doubt themselves a little bit.
Yep, Catherine Castro Duarte will check in here for the Hot Dogs. See her first action towards the end of this one.
It's going to make note of Lee Rose, the basketball coach of Purdue. His 2 sons, Mike, ironically, took a football scholarship, was a linebacker at Indiana. His son, Lee Jr., started at Furman, transferred, and finished his career at IU, and then became an assistant coach at Butler before he moved on.
Mike, I'm starting to think that you are a wealth of knowledge yourself. And it's true because you've traveled with us all over the state of Indiana as far as, let's say, Lanesville going south. And the funny thing is we were all joking on the way down, having a good time at Mike Walensky's expense. And we were saying how long until Mike tells us a story about somebody he knows from Lanesville other than Greg Rakestraw. And you walked right in the door and you said, funny story, I got to tell you. My sister went to school with so-and-so something. You had a tie right away. I can't take you anywhere. That's all right.
I can say, though, that as much as I have been tied into Indiana University over years, I'm also tied into Purdue as well.
Yep.
Very big influence on me by Jack Mollenkoff, who was our family neighbor. Learned a little bit about football growing up from Jack Buford Byers, the longtime business manager for the Purdue Boilermakers around the corner from us. Later, Dr. Nelson moved in, and he was sort of a Nobel Prize winner in agricultural economics at Purdue University, and also the Big Ten faculty athletic rep for the Purdue Boilermakers, and worked very closely with athletic director George King and then with Morgan Burke.
Ramos put it in play. Lebanon kicked it right back out. So Jesse will put it back in play again here for the Hot Dogs as time continues to run. 3:22 on the clock.
This is one of those learning matches, I think, for Frankfort, in that the balls, we've noted, has been on their defensive end the entire second half.
And that's got to wear you out.
It really
does.
It
really does. It's one thing to work offensively, but you expire so much energy playing defense, and that's something that the Hot Dogs have had to do quite a bit of tonight. Time of possession has not been in their favor. Let's thank our final sponsor of the evening here during normal gameplay, and it is FiberHawk. Now available FiberHawk Internet. Super fast speeds, no more buffering, perfect for all sizes of business. FiberHawk offers every speed to meet your internet needs. For more on offerings and availability, go to fiberhawk.com or call 765-922-HAWK. Fast, affordable, FiberHawk. Lebanon's offense looks like they've been infused with FiberHawk Internet tonight as quick as they've been moving.
Yeah. Stogsdill, number 4. She's had a pretty good game for Coach Hyatt's club. Good to see Peyton Myers, number 11 for Frankfort, really fighting out there on the defensive end, giving up her body in the previous possession. It's not easy to do when you're down 6-0 and the clock's running under 2 minutes.
The alumni side of me, Mike, says, I would love to see the Lady Dogs get 1 goal. I know I'm not supposed to be biased in these broadcasts, but I would love to see them just get 1 score. They've played hard here this evening, just outmatched, and that happens from time to time. Mayer with it for Lebanon. The push ahead here. And a great job by Ramos. That time coming up to get it was Jesse Ramos.
And yet Coach Field has said that number of coaches have talked to him after big losses that they've had, that they've got enough talent out there. If they could put some things together, they can be very good. So just have to be patient and work through this process.
Frankfort pushing it up the field. Taken away by Lebanon. There's Myers for Frankfort. And just kicked out by Mayer. See the clock continue to run under 40 seconds. When this one concludes, stay tuned. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll do our post-game show with you. Under 15 seconds. For Lebanon now, they will move to 5-7 on the season, 4-2 in conference play. The Hot Dogs will fall to 3-8, 3-8-1, excuse me. And they'll fall to 1-3 in conference play. A hard-fought match here. And maybe I thought we had a late opportunity right there, just didn't come to fruition, Mike. As live action ends here on this one with Lebanon taking the victory 6-0. We'll step aside. We'll take a quick break. Don't change your dial. Mike Walensky and I will be back to talk and wrap things up here from Frankfort High School.
Oh my God! We are ripping fast today. How hard can it be, right? These are now selling for about $3,500. So we're back to our old ways of pulling rocks.
Act like idiots on camera, open cards, and talk about the hobby.
Power. We all want it. We all need it. It not only lights our homes, but it drives our businesses. It strengthens our communities. It empowers us to make our own decisions. Today, we're giving power to more than 22,000 members. We're a homegrown, locally based cooperative that does something the big electric companies won't: give safe, affordable, and reliable power to rural communities. We're Tipmont REMC, and our members have the power.
It can be awkward talking to your doctor or healthcare provider about things like body odor, depression, drugs, relationships, or sex, but they need to know. If you lie or decide not to tell them something, you may not get the care you need.
If you are embarrassed to talk to a parent about health concerns, remember as a teen, you have the right to talk to a healthcare provider alone and get access to some health services without friends, parents, or anyone else finding out.
Take responsibility for your health care. For more information, call Healthy Communities at 765-659-6063.
We welcome you back here one final time from Frankfort High School as the Lebanon Tigers come to Frankfort and get a 6-0 victory over the Hot Dogs. Sean Walker, Mike Walensky here to wrap things up as part of our Ardente Dental postgame show. Healthy smiles start here. Call to schedule your next appointment at 654-7222. Se habla español. Mike, fantastic match here tonight for Lebanon Tigers, able to come in. They got a victory here against the Hot Dogs. 6-0 on the scoreboard. Your final thoughts on this one?
Well, I think Lebanon just absolutely took control of this match, controlled the midfield, and dominated throughout. And you got to give credit to Madison Maher, number 20, Chloe Beltran, number 25, Riley Jump, and Irene Ransom. The offensive attack for Lebanon was over the top in this one en route to their 6-0 victory over Frankfort.
Yeah, definitely winning in dynamic fashion here in a 6-0 game, able to shut out the Hot Dogs. For the Hot Dogs, that's the 5th time in their last 7 games they've been unable to put any points on the board for their squad, and it's their 7th straight loss, unfortunately. So the Hot Dogs will look to get things turned around as they close out their season and get ready for sectional play. Again, sectional pairing show headed your way on September 29th at 8 p.m. Tune in to IHSAATV.org. That'll be hosted by the ISC's very own Greg Rakestraw. Next up for the Frankfort Hot Dogs on their schedule will be at Tri-West, and that's not going to get any easier for a team that's ranked number 1 in 2A currently. For Lebanon, they will play against North Montgomery to finish out their season before they get into tournament action. Want a special thanks here to our students tonight here from Hot Dog TV. Did a fantastic job bringing you the sights and sounds. Want to thank Ed Niehaus, athletic director here at Frankfort High School. The hospitality, always amazing, always fun to come back home. For Richard Salee, for Mike Walensky, and the rest of the guys behind the scenes here, I am Sean Walker. You've been watching a student-produced production on the ISC Sports Network.